Hello, everybody. Microphone here. There we go. Hello, everybody. Forgot to put my headset on. I know it's kind of probably loud. I'm going to try to take the mic back a little bit. This is Roger from Roger's Reviews, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information that you probably already know, but for me, it took me 20 years to get to this point. So now, kind of starting late in the game, but going to play catch up. That basically give you a few facts how to make money and how to save money. First, how to save money, because you can't invest any money until you have some to invest. So, I'm going to start off with, of course, if you can't rent something very inexpensively and the rent's killing you, if you're single or you don't have any kids, or you have a situation like me where basically by myself most of the time, purchased a condo that was undervalued, and it was Freddie Mac, which means you have first option to buy. If you're an investor, you have to wait. So you can come up underneath the investors and buy a home for yourself. And if you're a first-time home buyer, you get breaks as well. So, and then if you get a good interest rate, you don't have to pay it off right away, but you'll still be saving money compared to rent. And also, too, the property value goes up. So if you're paying rent, you're probably paying more than you would a mortgage, and you have no benefit from it. If you own it, the real estate's going to go up, and that's going to increase your net worth. If you have the ability to pay it off, which I don't recommend if you have a very low interest rate, but if you are fortunate to pay it off, of course you have no rent. All you're going to have is some taxes and insurance to pay. So you take that money and that you save and invest it. I'm going to buy Tesla stock. Second thing, if you absolutely have to have a car, which I don't recommend, if you live in a place where you can get around easily with Uber or Lyft, you're going to be able to basically save money by using Uber or Lyft instead of buying a car, because it's very expensive. If you do have to purchase a vehicle, I recommend an EV because there's low maintenance. A used EV, like a Nissan Leaf, is probably one of the cheapest vehicles to run. You can purchase a used Nissan Leaf for under $10,000, and it's going to cost you probably less than $1 a day for energy cost. And there's going to be no maintenance, hardly any, just tires and windshield wiper blades. I've had one for 3 years. That's basically all I've always had to do. Only thing I had to do is windshield wiper blades and tires. So every 3 or 4 years, you might have to replace a 12-volt battery, which is like $100 because they're small. But if you do have the ability to live in a warmer climate, you can pretty soon you're going to have the ability to buy an Arcimoto, which is basically a three-wheeled vehicle, which is an EV, 80 to 120 mile range, goes 85 miles an hour, so you'll be able to drive it on the highway. If you have a normal commute, until those come out, you have an option of buying an EV scooter or a gas scooter. The reason I say this is there's a loophole in insurance, because most states require insurance except for motorcycles. If you buy an Arcimoto, which is considered a motorcycle in your state, or an EV scooter or a gas scooter, if it's under like 200 cc's or 250, the insurance is very reasonable. I had a 125 Honda scooter. I was paying $150 a year for full coverage insurance. So if you want to save money, you have a short commute, I recommend that. Take the extra money, buy Tesla stock. All right, but that's what I do. I'm not telling anybody to do that. All right. Next thing is water purification. Everybody buys bottled water. And eventually, if you think about it, if you're buying bottled water every day, it adds up. If you buy a water purifier, you can purify your own water. You don't have to lug the bottles of water up and down. Like I live on the second floor, so I have to, every time I buy water, I have to carry it up a flight of stairs. Also, it gets expensive because if you buy the good water, it can be up to $2 or $3 a bottle. If you buy the cheap water, it's kind of like buying tap water. You don't know what you're getting, and usually those bottles of water are stored in a warehouse somewhere, and it's very cheap plastic. So basically, the water breaks the bottle down. By the time you get it, it tastes like plastic. So I recommend getting yourself a water purifier, even if you have to get a Brita water purifier. It's probably better water than you're drinking now in the cheap bottles, and it's going to save you money and time. And the money you save, you can buy, you can invest. Another thing I bought was a Valera Laundry Pure 2.0. It's a device you put on your washer, and it basically oxygenates the water. Can't talk. And it eliminates the need for laundry detergent, and also eliminates the need to use hot water. So not only do you save money by not buying detergents, your clothes come out cleaner, and there's no residue, so it's a lot healthier for you. And you save money also too by not having to heat up your hot water to wash your clothes, and then you have more hot water to take a shower in. And if you take cold showers, it's better for you as well. At least end in cold water. So all the money you save in laundry soap and hot water, you can invest that. All right. Now to make money, invest all that money that you saved. Invest it. I'm going to invest in Tesla stock. All right. If you buy an EV and you have a long commute and or you travel a lot, I recommend buying a Tesla. Which is expensive, I know. It's a lot more expensive than a Nissan Leaf, but if you buy one now or in the future, they're going to have the extended range battery, and they're going to have the million-mile motor, million-mile battery. They're going to have the self-driving chip, and you might even have the second version of the self-driving chip, which I think within 2 years, if you order one now, especially like a Cybertruck, within a year or two, it's going to be very close to self-driving. And when the self-driving takes over, the car is going to be able to make your own payment, or possibly even make you money. So, like I said, if you can afford a Tesla this year or next year before the self-driving option goes up, see, if you order one now, you can lock in that price. It's like $7,000. If you wait till later, you might not be able to afford it, because once it goes to self-driving, the price is going to go skyrocket. And they probably won't need to sell any more cars, because they'll keep them for themselves, because the cars can make them anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 a year. They won't need people to buy the cars anymore. So, and if you have, if most of your appliances are electric, and then you buy an electric car, the next natural step would be buy solar panels. Solar panels are going to eliminate, of course, your electric bill. And once you pay your solar panels off, you won't have any bill at all. You might have like a $20 electric bill just to be connected to the grid. If you make more money, or if you make more energy than you need, you can sell that extra money back to the grid. And at the end of the year, they send you a check. So you can actually make money at the end of the year. It's not going to be much, but all the money you save plus the check at the end of the year, you can invest. After you pay off the solar panels, or depending on what the interest rate is, you can buy battery backup, or like a Tesla Powerwall, which if you're not making money right away, or you're still have an electric bill, and it's just, if you get a lower interest rate, I would just go ahead and, instead of waiting, whenever you buy your solar panels, go ahead and just buy like at least one Powerwall, because this will eliminate most of your bill. Whatever you save will help make the payment on your Powerwall, which the Powerwalls are getting cheaper all the time. And then once your Powerwall is paid off, and once your solar panels are paid off, it's going to be huge savings. So you can take that money, you can invest it in Tesla stock. That's what I'm going to do. Next thing you can do to save money and to be healthier is look into intermittent fasting. The way Americans are basically, most of them are overweight, which I am, which I'm losing weight as we speak. I started intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is basically going back to basically the way we used to live, and over thousands of years, humans used to eat very few times a day. And over the last 200 or 300 years, we've been overeating and eating too much and eating too frequently. Our bodies aren't made to do that. Basically, you just look at our ancestry and look past 200 or 300 years. Our body doesn't evolve in 200 or 300 years. It takes hundreds and thousands of years to evolve. And we've been eating like maybe 1, maybe 2 meals a day, if we're lucky, 300-400 years ago. So now we're eating minimum of 3, sometimes 4, 5, 6 times a day plus snacking. Obviously, if you don't work out a lot or have a super high metabolism, and there's McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's on every corner, there's always food and snacks pushed on you every day. Every time you go to the gas station, someone's trying to sell you extra candy, extra soda pop, extra food, supersize this. It's inevitable. If you eat 5 and 6 times a day, or eat 3, 4 huge meals a day, plus snacking, plus soda pop, plus whatever else, candy bars, it's just almost impossible not to gain weight, especially when you get older. I didn't really have a problem with it till I hit about 30. And then even if you work out or watch what you eat, it's still hard to lose weight. But since I started the intermittent fasting, I've already lost 2 or 3 sizes in my belt loop, and I feel better than I ever have. I'm probably I haven't worn this pant size in like 10 years, so it's definitely working. I feel better, so I'm not going to try to tell you everything about it, but look into it. Intermittent fasting. If you don't have hypoglycemia, or you're not diabetic, or you don't have any health problems, you can look into it and probably start. If you do, I'd consult a physician before you start anything like that. But it's going to save you money. If you eat 4 or 5 times a day, most of those times you can't prepare those meals, so you're going to go out and eat. Every time you go out and eat, you're going to eat food that is prepared by someone else, and it's probably going to have stuff in it you probably would not have in it if you prepared it yourself. It's also going to cost you a lot more than you would if you prepared it at home. If you eat like 1 or 2 meals a day, it's a lot easier to prepare yourself, because it takes way too much time to prepare 5 or 6 meals and meal prep and all that. How I've been doing is just basically get up in the morning, drink a glass of water, and then wait till I get home, and then I eat a big meal when I get home. And like I said, it's a lot cheaper. You save so much time, so much energy. You get a lot more done during the day, and you lose weight at the same time, and you'll find out you feel better. It's kind of weird because we've been programmed our whole life to eat all the time, and it's not the way our bodies are set up. Like I said, if you're not hypoglycemic or have diabetes or have to eat all the time, normal healthy person doesn't have to eat but 1 or 2 meals a day. And I started doing that a couple weeks ago and haven't really noticed, like, you don't get hungry, your stomach shrinks, you eat less, you feel better, you wake up more refreshed. And one last thing, I've actually had the opportunity to run a tree service for almost 20 years. And once you get to the point where you're making more than you're spending, you have a tendency to buy a lot of stuff you don't need, which I guess made up for childhood. We're Jehovah's Witnesses for a while, and we never got any presents for a while, so I always use that as an excuse to buy myself stuff. And anyway, so best thing to do, don't wait till you're my age to start saving, but since I'm I guess a little bit behind, because I took my last 20 years and put all my money into a business and finally paid everything off and have very few bills. So I'm trying to catch up. So this is my plan. Whatever I don't need, I'm going to sell. Cut down on my expenditures, cut corners wherever I can, and don't stop buying stuff I don't need, and invest that money, because I only have about 10 or 15 years left that I can work. So I'm going to try to invest it in a good stock like Tesla, maybe a few other ones, and hopefully I can retire in 10 or 15 years or sooner. Anyway, this is probably information you already knew. I'm just reiterating what someone's already told you, but it's always good to get a refreshment and go over things and reapply yourself in those areas. So this is Roger from Roger's Reviews. I hope this helped you out and maybe inspired you. Hopefully you're not as old as me and you can implement these ideas, 5 or 10 years earlier and be way retired by the time you hit my age. If you like this review, please crush the like button and subscribe, and hopefully you'll be retired by the time you see this or shortly after. So, all right, thanks for listening, and hope this helps you out. Take care.